Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Allie and I just wanted to come on here to get you, so that you all could get to know me. I will be coming on here at least weekly and I will be basically talking about, or rather my focus will be on racism because that's what I tend to focus on. So let me give you a little bit of background about who I am. I am what you would call a conversationalist, or at least that's what I call myself. And my specialty is having the conversation on race, racism, and its issues. I am all about raw and honest dialogue. And so realistically, I don't cut no corners. I don't disrespect anybody in regards to that. But I do recognize that in order for the continual reconciliation of the individuals in this nation, that if we do not really get down and dirty in regards to having this conversation and being honest with one another, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how many barriers and burdens that we're going to have to kind of bust through in order to get this done, then it will be what it will be. One of the things that I usually like to say when I am having this conversation is to get comfortable becoming uncomfortable, because when this nation was formed, it was not done in a very comfortable way. It was done off a lot of bloodshed and a lot of oppression. And some would even argue that that blood and oppression is still existing right now in melanated communities. And of course, that will be another conversation for another time. But not only am I a conversationalist that specializes in the, that focuses on the topic on race, I am also an educator. I am located in the DMV area. That is the DC and Maryland, Virginia area. For those of you all that may not know where that is, I am not only an educator, but I also am a community organizer, community organizer, as well as an activist. And so, full disclaimer, let me get it out the way. So, okay, full disclaimer. I am a conversationalist. And my goal is to further or continue the reconciliation between the races here in the United States of America, because I do recognize that if we do not address racism really deeply and honestly and in a very raw manner, that if we do not hurry up and start really trying to facilitate this conversation and trying to really reach across the aisle in order for us to start working out and sorting out all of this basically mess that all of us have inherited from the formation of this nation, that we will quickly become a truly divided nation. And a divided nation cannot last. It cannot stand. And so I recognize the sense of urgency that we are at right now in this nation. We really truly are in crisis. And I've recognized that really for a while now, but it was like a couple of years ago that I really got the aha moment, and that I really started becoming a person of action instead of reaction. And so I do need you all to understand that I do have conversations in the public, on a public, on a public platform in order to address racism in this nation. And that is something that I really work truly earnestly and hard for, is the continual reconciliation between, melanated people in this nation, as well as, in regards to us having a relationship with our white counterparts based on honesty. But on the same token, because that's the community organizer, that is the conversationalist aspect of Allie. The community organizer and the activist Allie is an individual who understands and recognizes her purpose. My goal as a conversationalist is to continue the reconciliation between a divided people in this nation. The activist and the community organizer works for her purpose, she works towards the betterment of her people. And My purpose is to ensure the liberation and the sovereignty of my people and my relations. And so with that being said, for those of you all who follow me, you already know this about me. For those of you all who are just now getting to know me and meet Allie, you need to recognize that both of those things can exist together. One does not trump the other. I can work towards reconciliation and at the same time fight for the liberation of my people and the sovereignty of my relations. So yes, you may see me in a forum with every person of every different ethnic background having a conversation in order for us to start learning and understanding each other and truly start having a true reconciliation process take place. But on the same token, don't be shocked if you see Allie having panel discussions, participating in marches and rallies to ensure that her people are exposed to the true freedoms and equitability that her white counterparts already naturally have through birth. You see? And so that they can also partake of that privilege. And so I wanted to go ahead and throw that out there because the other piece to Allie is that Allie also has her, has a business. I love speaking about myself in third person. But seriously, I also have a business, and the name of my business is a Change Starter. And the focus of the Change Starter, or the purpose of the Change Starter, is to basically have candid conversations, because that's what I do. The Change Starter has what I call, or what I termed, or what I've named as a business, as what my business basically is based off of, is having candid conversations. I don't do trainings. Trainings are a 19th and 20th century tool that still can work in certain aspects, but I've recognized, especially from having the forums that I've been doing for a couple of years, that candid conversations that are held on a consistent basis tend to be more productive. But because it allows people to come back and to continue on having the conversation of race as we delve into the multidimensional aspects of it. And so I have candid conversations, and that is what my business is basically based on. I will work with nonprofits, businesses. I do work with, of course, the public. I have worked with the public in having conversations. The one thing that I always tell people who do contact me for my services is that when we have conversations, I do not have them in your homes. What I've recognized is that when the conversation is held in a home, at times, depending on who the host is, sometimes people don't feel as comfortable basically opening up, because of, you know, emotions and feelings and relationships and ties and bonds that usually people have. And so usually if I do have candid conversations with citizens here in my nation, then a lot of times those conversations are held in public places of my choosing. I choose the public place. And so not unless, you know, we can, you know, maybe come to some sort of agreement. And so I do have candid conversations. At least that's what I call my, or that's what I've coined as my, for my business. I've coined candid conversations because I think that they're very candid. And when you have candid, you can become raw and you can become honest. And that's why I chose that term. And also I do workshops. And my workshops will, the last workshop, for example, look, I just digress very quickly. I do different types of workshops. I will do self-empowerment workshops, which I did. The last one I did was actually this summer in regards to culture, spiritual, and identity. And then I also focus on race and culture in the classroom. And that tends to be one of my favorite workshops in regards to being inclusive not only to educators, but also to parents and students. When I do race and culture in the classroom, I will be honest with you, it is a good workshop for teachers, but I like doing it out in the public because I really try to push it towards the community, especially for parents and for students, because a lot of times our parents truly don't understand what role that race plays in the classroom. And a lot of times they don't understand the things that occur in the class, on school grounds in regards to race, that a lot of times affects and sometimes have something actually personally to do with their children. And so the race and culture in the classroom, that one tends to be my favorite, you know, racism in the classroom. So yeah, that's one of my favorite workshops that I like to do. So yes, I do workshops. I do a lot of things. Candid Conversations, though, that's my thing. That's where I like to facilitate conversation. I like to facilitate conversation. And last but least, before I leave, because I like to talk a lot. And so I have to really, you know, pace myself. Or sometimes bring myself back. February the 24th at Historic London Town and Gardens in Edgewater, Maryland. I will be working in collaboration with Elena Jimenez of Execute Your Destiny, and her and I are hosting a conference. It is called Shifting the Paradigm Back to Humanity. And this conference is literally for everybody, because we, the speakers, because it's not just me and her, but we, the speakers, will basically come from a perspective in regards to what the paradigm shift looks through our eyes in regards to how we as humanity can work together to basically tackle some specific issues and problems that we have going on, not only in our nation, but around the globe, and what that looks like through our eyes. And we're going to not only address the problems that we see, but also have discussion towards the end of the conference with our participants about what action looks like. What are the things that we as humans can do in order to make things better, not only for humanity, but also, of course, for our environment and the world that we live in. And so that I definitely hope that you will look out for, that you will consider coming to. You can find the information on my website. That is Allie the Convo Starter at I'm like at gmail.com. I'm about to give you my email, but you can email it too. But it's Allie T as in Ted Convo Starter at I'm about to do it again, AllieTConvoStarter.com. If you go to my website, my web page, the conference information is there. And so I wanted to kind of throw that bit out there to you. Over the next few episodes, I will even talk about things that I will be speaking about in regards to my conference. And so look out for that. And now I'm going to get ready and get off. As you can tell, I did this in one fell swoop. Get used to it. I'm not a person that kind of I'm not the type of person that literally redoes videos over and over and over again for perfection, because I recognize as humans, we are not perfect. And so I don't want to ever give off that impression that I don't make mistakes. And so throughout my videos, you're going to keep hearing me say, even though I'm really working on that, y'all. I'm really working on the part. You're going to hear me say, excuse me. You're going to hear me repeat myself until I can get stuff correct, because that's Allie. I'm not about perfection, because I recognize, if I'm going to be talking about humanity, we also have to address our imperfections and recognize that with our imperfections, that's not going to stop us from being the best that we can be. And it's not going to stop us from our purpose. And it shouldn't even stop me from doing a video to redo something all over again to get a message across to you. And so with that being said, it was very nice meeting you. I'm hoping that I told you enough about myself to make you come back, or encourage you to come back to basically engage with me in conversation about having a raw and honest and candid conversation about race and its issues. I'm hoping that you will definitely have discussions down here in the post. I'm not about arguing. I won't argue with you. I may have passionate debates with you, but I will not argue. I do not like disrespect, so don't expect to see that from me. I will most likely delete you or block you from the post if it's about disrespect and about deliberately causing, you know, or inciting harmful rhetoric, or basically to become a distraction from what the purpose of this page is. And this page is about reconciliation and, of course, addressing raw and honest conversation. It's about addressing racism and having raw and honest conversation about it, as well as the platform of my business and what it's all about. And so, you know, I like to, anyway, I was about to make a joke, but I'm not a good jokester. My jokes are very corny. And so, yeah, so I'm hoping I told you a little bit about myself. I'm a conversationalist, educator, community organizer, activist, and I have a business called The Change Starter. And if you ever need my services, please email me at Allie the Conversation Starter at gmail.com, or if you want to know more about me, go to my website, which is allieconversationstarter.com, and please reach out to me if I can answer any questions for you. And I'll see you on my next, or I'll look on all of my next videos that I start putting up, and I cannot wait to hear what you all think. Have a good one.